All right, Thomas Montgomery here. It is a beautiful Friday, January 17th, 2025. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings, and today is another one of our split trainings. So everyone is invited to the first half. Our top producers will be invited to the second half on a different Zoom link, but I'll explain, of course, what we're going to discuss in both sections so no one is left behind. Our agenda today is to make it very clear, and this is going to be very much in your face, strong recommendation. It's up to you how you want to run your business, but we believe that each of you should be building a sales organization. If that doesn't seem right, then you're in the wrong role as a reseller. Because what does a reseller do? The reseller resells the shelf corp to clients. And there's only two scenarios. Either you're the Lone Ranger, you're the only one reselling, or better yet, we build a sales organization of other people that do it so you don't have to do it. You can make more money because more people have more time and more skill than any one individual. So we're going to talk about building a sales organization today. In the first half, the general half of the session, we're going to talk some basic concepts. And then for all of our top producers, we're going to work with you hand in hand to build a sales organization for your reseller position. So general, everyone gets the education, and then those that want will work with you individually to build out yours. No cost, of course. All right, so we're going to talk about building a sales organization. Then we're going to answer questions, and then we need to go make money. Right? It's very important. Many of you are really lighting it up. Today is the last day of the promotion with no upfront cost for the shelf court, and many of you are knocking out of the park. So it's great to see that. If not, you still got today to go take that message out. All right, so what is the number one priority for a business? I used to teach at just a junior college, wasn't MIT, nothing fancy, but I was a full-time professor at a junior college, a business professor, and I taught the intro to business class. And that's interesting because now you have young people, or sometimes not so young people, coming in, sitting down in the class. They have some interest in business, but often they don't know what you and I know. They're not focused on the right things. So I know this is a bit elementary for you, but let's just go ahead and cover it. What is the number one priority of a business? It's one word answer. If everyone could type into the Q&A, what is the answer to that question? The number one priority for a business. One word answer. Bernard, Charles, we have 520 of you on, so don't make me say everyone's name. Jessica, Frank, Franz, Gilbert, Harold, so many of you. Go ahead and type in the one word answer. It's just a one word answer. So the answer is very specific, and most people get it wrong. Profit. We must generate profit. A business that doesn't generate a profit will go away. No, the answer is not money. Novices think, oh, I got to go make money. But they're over. I've seen so many people that start a business and it makes money, but they spend as much as they make, so there's no profit and it ceases to exist. Profit is the answer. Profit is the difference between the revenue that comes in, the expenses that go out, it's what's left over. We must have profit. And this isn't a general 101 business training. We're talking about for those of you that are resellers. If you signed up as a reseller, you didn't have to pay anything, right? No contract to sign. So you have no expenses, you have no risk of failure. But if you're not making sales, you're not making profit, if you're not helping clients get fundable shelf corporations, you're in the wrong business, or we need to fix the problem. We need profit. We need profit. The nice thing is you can't help but make profit with the shelf corp, because this is not where you got to go buy inventory. This is not where you have to go have some startup cost. One deal and you're in profit. It's not like, oh, I got to generate at least 20 sales a month or I won't be profitable. Think about McDonald's. How many hamburgers do they have to sell to be profitable? You hit profit with one. But we have to be focused on it. If not, if you're not focused on making a profit, you should end the Zoom. You should not be a reseller because the whole role of the reseller is to help others with the fundable shelf court. And when you do that, you make profit. All right, moving on. So then the question becomes, well, what's the most important thing we need to generate profit? This is kind of obvious, but we're going to just cover it. We need to sell something to someone. So again, now I'm stepping away. I don't care about being a reseller. I don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber, a mechanic, a meth dealer. I don't care what your business is or what your industry is. You can be a pimp. It doesn't matter what your business is. You've got to sell something to someone. Your business has to sell something to someone. Now, as you see, we'll get to the point. It doesn't have to be you selling. I know from my experience, and frankly, when I was young, I thought, who wants to be a salesperson, right? That's for the people that can't do the work. But every business, as we're going to get to in a moment, has to have a sales organization. And that's why we want to help you build one because, no offense, some of you, I don't think some of you are cut out to be salespeople. And that's not an insult. I think it's just an observation. Not a problem. Can you be the CEO of the business and not be a salesperson? Absolutely. But if you're not going to do it, we definitely need to get someone to do it, or we have no profit and will soon be out of business. Another very important point to consider, in addition to that, we need to sell something to someone. And I think that's what makes entrepreneurs like you and I different. I mean, we thrive on selling shit to people, right? Of course, we want to solve their problems, we want to do what we say we're going to do, all that nice stuff. But you and I we love the thrill of the hunt. We love to fucking sell shit to people. If you don't like to sell shit to people, you've got to go find someone that will, because your business will fail. If you're not passionate about sales, we need to go find someone that is, or your business is going to fail. It's fine to have multiple revenue streams. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He's a truck driver. He came to us to get funding to start a trucking fleet. Fine. But he doesn't yet have a fundable business. We're working on that. We're on the path. So I asked him, hey, do you want to be a reseller? No, 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 no. I don't want to be a reseller. I want to own a trucking company. Great. You're not fundable yet for that trucking company. It's okay to have multiple revenue streams. I think many people, not you, and I don't think me, but some people, they get so narrow focused, they think I do X. Well, many businesses have multiple revenue streams. Look at appliance companies. Most that sell blenders also sell mixers. They also sell coffee makers. It's okay to have multiple revenue streams. And in fact, if your primary revenue stream is not generating any profit, we need to add a revenue stream. That's why many of our clients that are going through the Shelf Corp also become a reseller, just because it's okay to have multiple revenue streams. Moving on. You're smart. I'm convinced you're smart. You're motivated. There's not a problem with you, but there's only so much time in the day. And so it makes sense. It makes sense to build a sales organization. People that are out selling shelf corporations under your business, whereby they're getting paid and you're making a profit. It's okay, and it's more than okay. It's recommended. Any of you that have ran a business before and had employees, if it grew in size, you had different departments. You had your HR department, you had your accounting department, you had your customer service department. I know different businesses are set up differently. It's time to go ahead and build your sales department. It's time to build a sales organization. So again, it's okay if you're not passionate about selling goods or services to people. You don't have to be, but your business must have that element. So we need to have at least one person. We need to have at least one person in your organization that is passionate. Think about it. And I was talking to, I think it was Diane yesterday. Think about the last time you went to the shopping mall, and your mall may be different than ours, but there's a kiosk in our mall, and there's a couple young guys that are always trying to kind of get you to stop and get your shoes cleaned because they're trying to sell, I don't know, shoe cleaner, I guess. But they'll kind of not harass you, but try to engage you and get you to come sit down. They'll clean one of your shoes, show you how good it works. I mean, they're hustling. They're hustling. Think about when you go to a car dealership and you got three handsome men in jackets and ties coming out to you because they're ready to sell you a car. They're hustling. You need some hustlers, and hustlers doesn't mean anything negative or derogatory. They're trying to sell goods or services to people. You cannot be a reseller successfully if you or someone on your team is not passionate, like the guy at the mall or like the salesman at the car dealerships, of selling something. So, as a reseller, you can obviously build a sales organization. I don't think we've made that clear enough before. So here we are today. In the first half, we want to make sure that you know that it's okay to do that, it's good to do that, it's recommended to do that. And in the second half, those of you that are top producers, we're going to work with you, free of charge, of course, to literally help you build a sales organization. But let's talk about what's involved with the sales organization before we split off. A comment here, and I think it was Frank that gave this to me. Forgive me, I forget who said it yesterday, but I think it's Frank, so I should put quotes around it. What he said is, most people make excuses, most novices specifically make excuses, while successful entrepreneurs make sales. Those of you that are really not natural in sales, you're like a fish out of water. And so now we're kind of like pushing a rope. I would say don't do something you're not comfortable at. Don't do something necessarily that you're not good at. There are many talented people that we can put in your organization that will sell the shit out of this. Some people are wired for sales. Some people aren't. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just different people have different skills. Do you, yes or no, and I won't share with anyone else, go ahead and respond into the Q&A. Do you think that you are wired for sales? So Bernard, Charles, Claude. Now, there is a difference between, oh, I like to talk to people, or I know some people, but are you comfortable? Are you motivated in the thrill of the hunt in terms of making the pitch, overcoming the objections, getting the close, and making money? I know when I first came out of graduate school, I worked for a large insurance company, health insurance, not life insurance. And I soon learned that the highest income earners of that company, and this is true in most companies, are the sales professionals. In many cases, sales professionals make more than the CEO or the CFO. So it's okay if you don't want to be a sales professional, but if you're going to be a reseller, we need to have a sales organization. So continuing on. So how do we go about, and I'll show you the rest of the screen. This is, if you're not a reseller, want to become one, no cost, email us, how to reach Madison, how to access past trainings. But let's go back to here. So I think the first thing that we need to understand is that there are quite possibly 3 steps in the sales process, at least for the shelf corps. So let's go ahead and break it down, because this is important. Because if you think about building a sales organization, you have to decide, well, what do I want to outsource? Do I want to outsource all 3 components or just one component? So first, we need leads. We can buy leads, we can develop leads, but we're going to have leads. No leads, no sales, no money. So that's one role. And then typically, in most sales organizations, you have kind of your appointment setters, and then you have your closers. Now, certainly you could have one person do all 3 of those roles, but I think it's healthy for our purpose to understand that there are 3 different potential components. And frankly, you could do away with the appointment setters and just go from lead to close. But for conversation's sake, we've got to decide in your sales organization. Now, do you have to have a sales organization? No. But if you are wanting to be a reseller, we need to resell shelf corps, right? Otherwise, you're in the wrong seat of the bus. So if you're going to be a reseller, we need to address the lead development and the closing. And often you'll have someone in the between the two that are not necessary. Maybe they're closers in training, or maybe they're just not skilled to be a closer, but they can set the appointment with you. So that's the first point I would make is as you're thinking about, do I really want to be a reseller anymore? You know, our top resellers are making over 100,000 a month. That's not get rich quick, it's not flashy, but it's a good side income. That can escalate up tremendously the larger your sales organization. So you need to decide, do you want to be a reseller? Do you want to help people build their financial literacy and increase access to capital? If so, great. You're welcome to be a reseller. It doesn't cost you a penny. If you're not one, become one. So then we need to build a sales organization if you're going to build one. We need to stop thinking that you got to be a one-person show. I talked to some of you, you're like, well, I'm broke. How can I build a sales organization? Sales is really interesting. It's not uncommon that many sales organizations are composed of commission salespeople. And so that's what we'll be doing in the breakout session for the second half is we'll talk about where can we go find leads, where can we go find appointment setters, where can we go find closers. So those of you that are invited to the second half. But some of you already have. I see Frank tells me during this conversation via text, he's got thousands of leads. He says he has 750 closers. Well, great, Frank. It's time to produce, right? It's time to produce. We will deliver 100% of the time what we promise. And we talked yesterday about the three primary selling points. We talked about this yesterday when we went through the near model. No out of pocket cost. Second, 100,000 transfer in 24 hours. And third, shelf corp ready for funding in 7 days. So if you want to adopt the near model we talked about yesterday, this is the bottom line that we need to convey. So we need leads. Leads would be small business owners that's looking for capital. Again, you can buy those leads from Kyle or elsewhere, or you can generate your own. That's up to you. Then we need someone to reach out to those leads and get them connected to the closers. And then the closers get the contract. We've provided each of you an editable copy of the client agreement. You remove your information, remove our information, put yours on, change the pricing the way you want, and you set it up in Adobe or DocuSign, and you have the client sign. So with that being said, my goal today is to get you to think about building a sale. Well, first, do you want to be a reseller? If you're not going to produce, you're wasting your time, right? Go do something else. But as a reseller, this could be just one revenue stream and one arrow in your quiver. It doesn't have to be what defines you. It's very reasonable that we can sell a deal a day, which isn't get rich quick, but that's 5,000 a day, 100,000 a month, good side income. But that can be exponentially grown based upon how does your sales organization look, right? The more leads we have, the more deals we can close. So my goal today is to get you thinking about these topics, and then to get invited to the second half of these sessions. It's no cost. It's just essentially we need to see promise. We need to see results. And so we'll go through this week, and based upon those of you that have generated at least modest results this week, you're more than welcome to be part of the Leadership Council. So with that being said, think about it. If you want to be a reseller, great. If you want to continue to be a reseller, if you're not one, of course, you can become one free and easy by emailing us. We need to stop thinking small, build a sales organization. We can get leads easily. Leads will never be a problem. We can get appointment setters easy. That'll never be a problem. And if you don't want to be the closer, we can get closers. That's not a problem. But I think it is important, though. I'll close on this. I think it is important if you're going to be a reseller, close at least one deal. Because I think you'll lack the credibility of going and building a sales team, a sales organization, if you've never been able to close one deal. But with these three talking points, how in the world can you not sell at least one? No out-of-pocket cost. We're going to transfer the $100,000 to them in 24 hours, which is the second to the bottom bullet. And we're going to have this shelf corp ready to go to funding. Some of you you're not wired to do this. So some people say, well, how's it no out-of-pocket cost? Well, there is no out-of-pocket cost. We're running a promotion. There's no out-of-pocket cost. I mean, that's the fact. Does that mean it's free? Well, of course not. It doesn't mean that it's free. It just simply means that there's no out-of-pocket cost. We send them a finance app and we ask them to fill it. We have one referral partner that was on me this morning saying, well, I don't understand. It's not complicated. Get the client under contract, submit it into us. We'll send them the finance app. They'll fill out the finance app. They'll get the funding for the shelf court based upon the price you set it. You get paid, we get paid, and then we implement. All right, if you need personalized help, I recommend giving Madison a call, 903-352-3390. Have a great day, great weekend. We will see you back on Monday. And if you're not a reseller, I encourage you to try it. If you are a reseller, it's time to, as mom and dad used to say, poop or get off the pot. It's not that difficult. If you want to be successful, we can help you, but it's going to require commitment and engagement and delivery. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you back. Have a good day. Bye-bye.